Students, welcome to another Mr. Ness screencast. Please pause the video, look these objectives over, and get ready to copy some vocab and take some notes. The first term is sex ratio. This is the ratio of males to females in a population. Today you're going to learn how to read a special type of graph called a population pyramid. And all population pyramids show sex ratios because they are really two separate graphs, one for each sex. Take a look at this population pyramid of the United States. I like to think of population pyramids as two bar graphs flipped on their side. Moving up and down the y-axis are different age brackets, usually in intervals of 5. On the x-axis, we see the total number of people in the population that are in each age bracket. So here we have two graphs, one on each side. On the left side, we have the total number of males in each age bracket, and on the right side, we have the total number of females in each age bracket. Let's look at an example. Take this age bracket here, which is 15 to 20-year-olds. On the x-axis, we see on the left that there are about 11 million males, and on the right, there are about 11 million females. So that means that in the year 2009, when this was made, in the United States population, there were 11 million 15 to 20-year-old boys and 11 million 15 to 20-year-old girls. Now I want you to practice by pausing the video and thinking about these questions. In 2009, in the United States, how many 80 to 85-year-old men were there? How many 80 to 85-year-old women were there? Pause the video and think about it. If you said about 3 million of each, you are correct. If you got it wrong, look back and study this more before you move on. Be careful. Sometimes the x-axis of a population pyramid shows the percentage of the population in each age bracket instead of the total number of people. Look at this one on the right. This pyramid shows that in the 15 to 20-year-old age bracket, males are 3.5% and females are 3.5%. That means that 3.5% of the total US population in this year was 15 to 20-year-old boys, and 3.5% of the total population was 15 to 20-year-old girls. These population pyramids are giving the same information but expressed in a different way. This one on the left shows the total population in each age bracket, whereas this one on the right shows the percentage of the total population that is in each age bracket. Now let's look at some common population pyramid shapes that correspond with countries in each stage of the demographic transition. As we look at these pyramid shapes, I want you to focus on the bottom 2/3 of the age brackets. In every country, no matter how developed, people die of old age. So these upper age brackets, from about 75 and above, will always have a similar shape. It's the lower age brackets from 0 to 75 that are important. All right, let's start with stage 2. The population pyramid of a stage 2 country is a pyramid with a wide base. The overall shape is a triangle or pyramid, but the widest age brackets are at the very bottom, or base. Countries in stage 2, like Niger, have a lot more young people than old people. There are a lot of baby boys and girls between the ages of 0 and 5. But as we move up in brackets, there are fewer and fewer people in each one. That means that a lot of babies are being born, but some of them die before they turn 5. And then some of those that make it to 5 die before they turn 10. And some of those who make it to 10 die before they turn 15, etc. Anytime you see the bars moving inwards like this, it means that people are dying. In a country like Niger, the birth rates are high, which is why the base is so wide. But because healthcare is poor, many children die at a young age, and that's why the base slants inward like a pyramid. Now let's look at stage 3. The shape is a pyramid with a cylindrical base. Unlike Niger, where the base slanted inwards, the base of a stage 3 country is mostly straight. Look at these lines. They are straight up and down at the base. There is no slant inwards until we get up until these Middle Ages. That means that in a stage 3 country like Pakistan, Babies don't die as they get older. They survive. We don't see any inward slant at the bottom. Remember, that inward slant means people are dying, and we don't see that until we get to about age 30. So, unlike stage 2, where the base slanted in immediately, in stage 3, we have straight sides at the bottom, which I call a cylindrical base, and as we get into the older age brackets, we see a pyramid as the sides slant inwards. Stage 4 is a cylinder with a bulging middle. At the bottom, we have straight sides. Look at the very bottom. But as we get up into our middle ages, instead of slanting inwards, the brackets slant outwards. They bulge out. That's why I call this a cylinder with a bulging middle. And this outward slant means that as time passed, women started to have fewer children. Look at this pyramid of the United States, a stage 4 country, and notice how between the 20 to 24 bracket and the 25 to 29 bracket, there is a bulge outwards. That's because about 25 to 30 years ago, women had more children than they did 20 to 24 years ago. So in the year 2000, which is about 20 years ago, women in America had fewer children than they had in 1995, which was 5 years before. In other words, between 1995 and 2000, the birth rate decreased. Remember, always focus on the bottom 2/3 of the pyramid. The last stage is stage 5, and the shape is called a cylinder with an upside-down pyramid base. Unlike stage 4, where the bottom age brackets had fairly straight edges, in a stage 5 pyramid, the bottom brackets are slanting outwards from the base, like an upside-down pyramid, and then they have a straight-sided cylinder in the middle ages. This is what it looks like when birth rates continue falling and each generation is having fewer children than the previous one. Cylinder with an upside-down pyramid base. Contrast that shape of stage 5 with the stage 4 shape, cylinder with bulging middle. In stage 4, the bottom years are straight, but in stage 5, they start to slant outwards immediately. And they continue to slant outwards as we move up in age. The last term today is the dependency ratio. This is the number of people not of working age divided by the number of people that are of working age. So we have the total number of very young and very old people who can't work divided by the number of people who can work. This number is important because working people pay the taxes that are needed to support the non-working people. And we define working age as 15 to 64. There are two types of dependency ratios, the child dependency ratio and the old age dependency ratio. Child dependency ratio is the number of children under the age of 15 divided by the number of people between 15 and 64. The old age dependency ratio is the number of people 65 or older divided by the number of people between 15 and 64. A high child dependency ratio means that working age adults are having to work and pay taxes to support a lot of children. A high old age dependency ratio means that working age adults are having to work and pay taxes to support a lot of elders. Both a high child dependency and a high old age dependency are bad for a country's economy because many people who can't work have to rely on the fewer numbers of workers. Countries in stages 2 and 3 have high youth dependency ratios. High birth rates in those countries mean that there are a lot of children relative to working age adults. Think about Niger, where birth rates are so high. On the other hand, stage 5 countries have high elder dependency ratios because most people live to old age, but few children are being born. A good example of this is Japan. Stage 4 is the sweet spot where both child and old age dependency is low. This is the stage where total fertility rates are about 2.1, that magic number of replacement level. A good example is the US. All right, here's some practice. I want you to study this country's population pyramid and see if you can guess the following things. Take a look at A, B, C, and D. Pause the video and try and answer them on your own. And here are your answers. How'd you do? If you did well, you are ready for tomorrow. If not, rewind the video and try again. All right, it's time to review the objectives. Again, if you don't know the answer, just rewind and review. I'll see you in class. Bye, students.